So I ring the bell and suddenly it becomes a Dhamma gathering. So wonderful, such a warm welcome to all of you. This is a unique event that we do every year, and I'm going to say a bit more about where it comes from a little bit later, but it's an opportunity that we don't often get, where different folks who come and participate in different aspects of this Sangha actually get together and get to know one another in a different way and see each other in different forms of practice than perhaps the ones that we might typically see each other in. So some folks come on Sunday and some folks come on Wednesday and some folks come on Thursday and like that. So, but now we're here together as a group, and it's wonderful. And so the plan for the day, just to give you a little bit of an idea of how things might be going, if they go as planned, is that we're going to have about 10 minutes or so of guided meditation, which I'm going to offer. And then we'll have a Dhamma reflection from Rocky, who's there online. And then I'm going to say a bit about gift giving and about generosity and about really the spirit of this gathering. And then Kodo is going to be our MC, inviting the reflections from the Sangha. So you've all been invited to bring a poem or some kind of reflection or something you want to share. It's absolutely optional. Don't feel any pressure whatsoever to say anything. It's just really an opportunity if you would like to. And then Kylie will share some Dhamma reflections with us as well. And as I said, I'm going to speak a little bit to the history of this tradition and a little bit about this Sangha in particular, our particular group. And we'll close, as always, because it's a Dhamma gathering, with some chanting. So we'll do some chanting and a blessing and dedication of merit. And then lunch for those folks who are here in person. And so that's the plan. So this gathering is, I would say, in the spirit of Katina. It's in the spirit of a very traditional gathering that happens at what was in India the end of the monsoon season. And so it comes from the Buddha's time. And so it was a gathering in which all of the folks in the Sangha had a chance to appreciate each other's practice, appreciate this mutual support for one another. So the meditation that I would like to share is on gratitude. On gratitude. So yeah, we will go ahead and get started. Just jump right in with that unless there are any questions or... All right, great. All right, so starting by establishing your balanced and upright meditation posture. I like to begin oftentimes with some movement, just rocking the body from side to side or the head. Releasing any tension that you're willing to let go of. Feeling the body in the sitting posture. And perhaps there can be some gratitude for this body that is an instrument of practice for you in this moment. This body which is breathing, nourishing, and cleansing with each breath. So much gratitude. And becoming aware of the supports underneath you, the chair or the cushion or the couch. And gratitude for these simple but meaningful supports. And opening the attention, aware of the space around you and above you. And gratitude for whatever structure you're in right now, this space. Also supporting you and caring for you. These walls. And the people who built them, who take care of them. this greater space, virtual and physical. Dhamma friends, so many Dhamma friends. Supporting you with their mere presence here for you. So grateful. Beautiful. Thank you to everyone. And so now, Rocky, if you would please share with us your Dhamma reflection. So some folks may not know Rocky. Rocky has been with the Dassanaya Sangha since its inception. She was at one point the president of the board, actually, early on. And Rocky and I know each other from years before that when I was training at a women's monastery out in California. And she is a Dhamma teacher in her own right. She has received quite a bit of training and study that she's done in that regard. And she runs the Thursday morning metta, loving kindness meditations on Thursday mornings. And she's, I think, is also occasionally doing some classes for us, for folks at Dassanaya. So welcome, welcome, Rocky. So wonderful to have you. She's all the way out in California, so sometimes we don't see her because of the time zone, but here she is, bright and early on Saturday. Please go right ahead, Rocky.
Thank you, Aya. Thank you so much. And it's so lovely to be here and see everyone together in this way. So I wanted to share some reflection today on what does it mean to take refuge. We chant often Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami, which means I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dhamma, and I take refuge in the Sangha. And we say that again, and then we say that a third time again. And so in our practice, how do we bring this to life in our practice? So in the suttas, the metaphor that is sometimes used to describe refuge is the shade of a tree on a sunny afternoon. In India, a sunny afternoon is very real, and the shade of the tree is also very real. And the refuge of the shade of the tree can be very welcome on a sunny afternoon. So when we think about this, taking refuge as the shade of the tree, it can really help us get into that sense experience of taking refuge. We are all familiar with the shade of a tree and what that feels like in our hearts, minds, and body, and what a sunny, bright, sunny afternoon feels like. So when we say we take refuge in the Buddha, is taking refuge in that awakened possibility of awakening, that awareness within us. And, what is unconscious is just merely absent from awareness. It's that simple. And so it could be as simple as walking around in the sunny afternoon and becoming aware that I'm hot. It's really hot. And I feel those beads of perspiration. Right there, we start to lean into taking refuge with that one shift. Then the Dhamma. Dhamma is about seeing clearly. It's about understanding the nature of the things as they are. And that sometimes can feel a bit simplistic. And it is simple, at the same time, it's very expansive. What does it mean to see something clearly, the true nature of something? It's at the elemental level, it's at the phenomenological level, it's at our relational level. It's all of these different ways, and one can expand our experience. And, choose to go in the direction that feels like shade, that doesn't feel like the sun. The bright, sunny, sweaty, move towards the shade. And then the Sangha. The Sangha is a gathering, is a coming together, is an amplification of this momentum that we have built up with our awareness, with our seeing clearly. It's an internal gathering and external gathering as we are today. So it's that amplification of this recognition and this idea of, yes, I'm turning towards Dhamma, taking refuge. So this metaphor of the sun and the shade is a really good way for us to attune ourselves towards refuge. Am I uncomfortable now? Am I wound up now? What is going on with me right now? Right here, now we are in that leaning towards awareness and wakefulness. And when we come under the shade, we relax into that ease of knowing. The heat kind of cools down a little bit, the nervous system relaxes, and we just wait. We wait in the shade until we're cool enough to go again. And so the waiting, the pausing is a big part of the refuge. It's where we really get to enjoy the refuge. And then the Sangha, when we recognize the blessing and gratitude of this refuge together and within ourselves, then we are inspired again to go. And so the refuge is really a place of inspiration, really a place of inspiration. We often hear how inspiration strikes under a tree. Maybe that's why it's all coming together. All these different metaphors from across different cultures come together. Yeah. So this is my offering. Please take what's helpful, leave the rest behind.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Rocky. Thank you so much. All right. So thinking about the the triple gem, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha as gifts. That's why they're called the jewels, because there are beautiful gifts in our lives. And this gathering is also a lot about gifts. And again, these ways in which we are supporting each other and enabling each other's practice and each other's awakening by virtue of that. So I wanted to say a few words about gifts. I wrote a whole book about it, so you're welcome to have a copy of the book. We recently had it reprinted. I want to say a big shout out to Dana Elliott, who is not only our current board president, but also the wonderful artist who designed the book and made it possible for us to have the reprint in time for the gathering here. Dana's being shy and she has her camera off right now, but that's all right. She's there. So there are some, and you can, for folks online, you can download a copy of the book. It's available both in English and in Spanish. So also wonderful gratitude to my friend Elizabeth Corral, who worked with me on the Spanish translation, so that we could make it available to even more folks. And for some folks, so when you received the email about this gathering, there was a link there about some of the things that would be useful supports for the Sangha. So I just want to also call out a few names, and I've asked these people ahead of time, so we're going to hopefully not embarrass anyone, but just to mention a couple of names. So folks online, you can't see the gift table from here, but there's a table back there, and there's a big pile of books on it. And those books are called the Tipitaka. It's the full set of the three baskets of all of the early texts. So the suttas, which are all of the discourses, thousands, what do they say, roughly 8,500 or 9,000 or so teachings by the historical Buddha, discourses. That's the Sutta Pitaka. A Pitaka means a basket. So, and then the second basket is the Vinaya Pitaka. That's the descriptions of the monastic order and how the life of a monastic supports the Sangha and supports their own practice. And many stories about the Buddha actually come from that Pitaka, from that basket of teachings. It's not just a bunch of rules. And thirdly, we have the Abhidhamma. So the Abhidhamma is, you could say, a sort of categorization or an analysis of the other teachings in the other two baskets, and sort of trying to make them into a structure, a more formal structure. So that was offered by Robert Harvey, who's here. And I want to say a big thank you to Robert, because as you all know, I love to geek out on the on the suttas and on the text. We have a very substantial library, and we now have a more substantial library, because having multiple translations of a text is always helpful in terms of understanding its meaning and understanding how we can apply it to our practice. So thanks again, Robert, for that. Much gratitude. The whole Sangha will benefit. And to Dana Elliott. So Dana is taking care of our Zoom for the next year. So Dana is one of the folks. It looks like her screen is actually frozen right now, so I'm not sure we have her now. Oh, there she is. Okay. Thank you, dear Dana, for the Zoom support. Dana's making it possible for all the folks who attend virtually. And we were just saying we have folks from all over the world. So we have Brad up in Canada, and we have Fumio in the Czech Republic. Dana's actually in France right now. Rocky out in California, and Locke in California. And then we have the Latino folks, the folks from various Latin countries who come on Sundays when there's interpretation. And of course, local folks who come and also attend various events via Zoom. So thank you so much, Dana. You are making practice possible in so many ways, many, many ways. So that's a beautiful gift. And then Kylie. So Kylie is also someone who made an offering that is tremendously helpful. So Kylie gave another set of these Rode microphones. And I will say, Rocky can attest to this. If I didn't have these mics, you can't hear me teach most of the time. We had a very, very hard time at Aloka Vihara. We spent years trying to find a proper set of audio equipment so that folks would actually be able to hear not only my teachings, but also the other teachings of the nuns. So this is a very, very valuable set of offerings as well. So thank you so much, Kylie. You're also making it possible, really supporting our ability to hear the Dhamma in so many ways, hear the teachings of the Buddha and all the folks who have come. So yeah, and there are many other folks who have also made other gifts. There's food here. There are the folks who support in general financial ways. I'm immensely grateful that we've had this roof over our head for 4 years now, and we'll be here at least another year in this location. So making it possible for some stability and for a place for us to actually meet and do what we do together. So the gifts of many, many people are just incredibly helpful and thoughtful. Flowers on the altar. That's Ashley and Kodo and Kylie. And this lovely Buddha there was given by Joso, Olivia Haas, who's on vacation with her family today, but also a very, very helpful person in terms of supporting our Sangha. So anyway, I could name all of you because you're all here, you're all practicing, you're all giving and supporting in the ways that you can. So I wanted to say for folks who are in person, I made some handmade watercolor bookmarks there. Those things that say oceans of metta. That's for you. And the book, you can take the book. I'm happy to sign it if you would like. Take a card, a thank you card. So that's from Emily Hancock. She is a fantastically talented printer, and she printed us some custom thank you cards with a lovely quote from Thoreau. Maybe, could somebody hand me the card and I'll read the quote from Thoreau? Because it's a lovely, anyway, let me read the quote from Thoreau in just a minute. And to finally say, we also have these cute magnets. I'm a fan of the magnets, so put them on your fridge or send me an email if you're not here in person and you want a magnet. We have plenty. The magnets are actually also a watercolor painting that I did, and Dana was the one who did the artwork for those. And it says Dassanaya Buddhist Community support for your awakening life. And that's really my aspiration. And I think all of our aspiration in being here together. So the quote from Thoreau is, I am grateful for what I am and have. My thanksgiving is perpetual. It is surprising how contented one can be with nothing definite, only a sense of existence. My wealth is not possession, but enjoyment. Yeah. So, and also before I close this section on gifts, I also want to recognize the folks of the past who were part of our Sangha in the past and who may not be here today and are currently part of our Sangha, but also all of the folks who have supported Dassanaya over the last 4 years. People come and go in their lives and people pass away or move to different areas or different emphasis in their lives. And still, if it were not for the past, the support of the past, we would not have this time of the present to enjoy being together. And that extends all the way back. I want to offer some gratitude for my teachers, all the folks who ordained me, all the training that I've received, all my colleagues and teachers and benefactors in various sundry ways who have been instrumental. So gifts, there are many gifts in our lives, and that gratitude, that appreciation is, it can go either way. It can be based on contentment. It can be based on our understanding of contentment and being okay and being appreciative of what is. Or it can be the opposite. It can be the other way, where we start to practice intentionally having some gratitude, and that helps us to find our contentment with our lives and with what we have and who we know and the way that we practice. So may the gifts of the Triple Gem be a great blessing to you. And now we're going to have even more gifts of the Triple Gem, because we're going to invite some sharing and some reflections from other folks in the Sangha. And Kodo, as I said, is going to be our person helping to organize that. Here is the... Thank you, Roshi. Yep, you're welcome.
Okay. Greetings, Bodhisattvas. It's so nice to see all of you here. This part is going to be, we're going to start with the online people to share, if you feel the courage, the non-fear gift of the Buddha today. Hopefully you feel as supported in anything that you offer here as you do at any point in time. And we really look forward to hearing anything you have to offer. And Lisa, I think you already tagged the chat for offering a poem. If you wouldn't mind, we would be happy to receive. Which one?
And then, oh, there, here we go.
Oh, all right, very well. No.
Oh,
Oh.
Okay. Well, Lisa, if you don't want to speak it, you can also type it into the chat if that's okay for you. But I also saw that you might be in the car, you might be traveling.
Yeah, can you?
We can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'm a little bit labored because I have this pollen I have to ask for right now. But I can read like one of the first poems I wrote when I first started the Buddhist practice. It's called the House of Knowledge, Sangha. I came to this house and peeked through the windows looking for answers. What I saw and heard through the windows was comforting. A group of like-minded people listening to a Dharma talk. So I went to the front door, opened it, and invited myself in. There I noticed the answers I sought were within me. All I needed was that knowledge. So I laid down my pen and paper, took a seat, and got comfortable in my new home, the House of Sangha. That's it. Thank you.
You did this side, so try it again.
Okay. Brad?
Oh, yeah. So
I didn't realize, sorry.
I wasn't planning on being here, but it worked out. I don't have anything right in front of me, but just to share a little piece from the Six Patriarchs Platform Sutra. That's a fairly, my understanding is it's a fairly recent rendering of a little portion. I heard this in a talk by Ajahn Amaro. And it goes, in this moment, there is no thing that comes to be. In this moment, there is no thing that ceases to be. Thus, in this moment, there is no birth and death to go beyond. This moment is absolute peace. And although it is just this moment, there is no limit to this moment. And herein lies eternal delight.
Thank you so much for that offering.
Welcome.
Is there anybody else online who would like to offer anything? Yes, Locke, please.
Thank you. This is a poem that I wrote in 2018 called Walk With Me. At a certain point, the hearing of the teachings becomes dull. When I refuse to walk in practice or resist accepting wisdom offered, I lose my moment to apply that which I have learned. My path is not crowded. There is more than enough room for us to walk together. Perhaps we can encourage one another to embrace that which we know to be helpful. Walk with me, that the walking may happen for both of us.
Thank you so much, Locke.
And I'm appreciating the lighting there, all that beautiful. So good to see you, Locke. Thank you.
Would anybody else online have something they'd like to share? Marty, please.
Hi, Sangha. I didn't realize we were going to be sharing, so I don't have the poem in front of me, but I've been thinking a lot this morning about a beautiful poem by Jane Hirschfield, the poet. Beautiful podcast with her on Tricycle Talks in the past year, if you're interested in more. But I think the poem is called The Asking, and the only line that I have, I apologize, is do not despair of this falling world, not yet. And reminded me also of a beautiful Rumi, ours is not a caravan of despair. And really thinking of this in terms of what's happening in the world and the refuges that we have and the appreciation for that. And for the Sangha, Dhammadeepa, so much respect for you and your work with Buddhist Global Relief, for your Facebook stories, and just for the support of this Sangha. Really appreciate these opportunities to transform our righteous anger and our perplexity into compassion and enlightened action. So really grateful for everyone. Thank you.
Mm.
Little teary.
Mm.
Thank you so much, Marty. Stig, I think I saw your hand raised. Would you like to go next?
Yeah, I just want to invite silence, shared silence with all of us, partly because of my own intimidation of speaking. But I believe ultimately that silence is the best way of interconnecting. And so just immense gratitude first before moving into silence, just looking at your faces, being here online. It's just so precious. And feeling the aliveness of Sangha, how precious it is. So let's have a few moments of silence and we can look at each other and just honor what is with each other, through the universe. Yeah. Mm. Thank you.
Thank you, Stig. Is there anybody else online who would like to share? Dana, please.
I am so grateful to all of you for the consistency and ongoing of your practice. You're here every week in different classes, and it's just, I look forward to, I mostly participate on Sundays, and I look forward to seeing everyone, and I feel like, my friends. I live in the mountains, it's quite remote, and through you, the world comes to me, and I'm grateful.
Thank you so much, Dana. Would anybody else like to offer from online? All right, we're going to switch to the in-person karaoke here. And no, would anybody like to share anything here in person?
I don't like to be first.
Okay, would anybody like to go first as a gift to Hamza? Yeah.
Please.
Hello. It was brought up, refuge was brought up, home was brought up in a poem. Another meaning of Saranam is home. And I'm just so grateful to have found this home in the Sangha Jewel here, which has been a wonderful delight and life-changing. And grateful for Ayaji to help us all find our true homecoming to our true selves. So, and help us on the path to that. So thank you, Aya, and thank you, Sangha.
Now you have to be second.
Am I the last person?
You want to be the last person?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're very particular.
Nice to just
Absolutely.
have music take us into that. I'm not thinking of me.
No, no.
Just yeah, choreographically speaking.
Love it.
So to speak. No one?
Would anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Thoughts, a poem, intentions? Gratitude's always welcome. I'll say something to give you a little bit more time. I cannot express how much of my life I've spent feeling like I was the only person without a tribe. And I spent much of my time in books and in circles seeking out where that would be in this world. It took me a very long time to find you all, but I did. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all every single day that I have this. And whether I encounter you once quarterly for brunch, or if I see you regularly for book club, or if I see you every Sunday, I may never have actually met you in person to shake your hand or give you a hug, but I feel I know every single one of you. And the gift of your presence has been so inspiring to me, and it's everything that I could have hoped for. And yes, we're spread across the world, but we're here in this room right now. And I want to say thank you for your presence, because it is that support to my path that I'm able to walk this. It is because of your generosity that this building is here, that I could find it, that I could find my tribe. So thank you, every single one of you, for being here as a part of that.
So if you're going to play something, maybe you want to wear the mic though, Hamza, just clip it on there. No, I don't think too loud is ever an issue with these.
Where the heck do I put it? Here,
things.
do you know where to put these things?
Yes.
Okay, you do.
If you don't mind, well,
A little corsage.
Is it the- Should I just test it out? for the sound.
Can folks online hear? Yes.
That's okay?
Brad says
You
no.
can't hear
Okay,
it?
let me turn it up a tiny bit.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we have lots
Should we
of
try
room
it
to
again?
go. Okay, try again. Oh,
I,
one
Oh, maybe
more
it's
thing, sorry. I
sound.
need
Maybe
to
it's
change
sound.
one setting, slight setting,
Yeah.
sorry. Yes. Choto. Okay, y this. Go for it.
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Okay.
Rocky says yeah.
So, so anyway, yeah, I was classically trained flutist years ago, and oh, I'm so happy that we have anatta in this practice because it's the ego stuff is just give it up, give it up. And I gave it up 15 years ago, and put the flute away. And this is a Native American flutes. And today, actually this weekend, my partner says, "Well, of course you want to bring it and play for Dhammadeepa. Dhammadeepa is
And
your
everybody.
teacher, and your Sangha's here. So yes, put it in the car and play it. You haven't touched it." "Yeah, but my fingers." "It's okay." She's a cellist. She understands. It's like, no, of course you want to play. So I'm gifting this to you for whatever may come up. And we'll take a bit of silence.
Beautiful, thank you. Okay, so given the choreography, we will move from that lovely sound to more lovely sounds with Kylie's reflections, Dhamma reflections. So I'm going to get up out of the seat here and give Kylie the teaching seat. And Kodo, if you would give Kylie that, there you go. You okay there? Right. I was just transported. I'm not even sure I'm here. Thank you so much. That's amazing how the nervous system responds to that. Yeah. So, may I make one change and take it off the musicians? The original sound? Original sound for musicians. Yeah, for some reason my system isn't doing it the same way that it used to. So let me just do it for you if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you for
Because
remembering.
it'll do better with the mics without that.
Noise
Okay,
removal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting seeing you guys here and you guys here. And your online people, your bodies aren't here, but your presence is here. It's special. It's special. Thank you. I want to, I want to just take a few minutes. Dhammadeepa asked me to just share a little something with you, a Dhamma reflection on this topic of refuge, taking refuge, what that means. And I just want to say thank you for your presence, first of all. Before I share about that, I just want to say a big thank you for supporting Dassanaya. Like some people have shared, it has been a very important part of my life. And I've been walking this path for some time, and I'm incredibly grateful for all the people that make this possible. Obviously, first and foremost for Dhammadeepa for having the brainchild and following through on it, and then all of us kind of gathering together, coming and going, but we're all here now, and we're in support of this like small but mighty thing. So just huge appreciation for your presence. So I'm thinking about refuge in terms of my personal experience. And I had my first experience of refuge probably about 12 or 13 years ago. And it was a very vivid experience. And I didn't know what it was at the time. Like on reflection, I can say that's the first time I had a conscious understanding of what taking refuge is. And at the time, I didn't know, but I just wanted to relate that to you now, because maybe you can take something away from it for yourself. So I was working in a big firm downtown. I was a professional, and I had 2 kids. I still have 2 kids, but at the time they were 8 and 10. Now they're grown men, beautiful grown men. And I was in my basement. And I was in my basement because I was having trouble with life. So I was like kind of hanging out there. My career was really stressful, and I'd sort of had this prolonged period of stress. My dad had died the year before. And I think what sometimes happens is like that stress can sort of pile up, and like your body sort of suddenly needs like the opposite to like help you out somehow. And I just dropped into this depression, and it was pretty intense. I just couldn't show up for anybody. Thank God to my husband, or thank the Buddha to my husband for kind of holding up our family at that point. And it wasn't a new experience. I'd had other experiences in the past, similar, and had usually gone to doctors and gotten medicine or therapy or whatnot, and, with some success. But this time a friend reached out and gave me a book, Mindful Way Through Depression. And so I was listening to a guided meditation. And so if you've ever had depression, it's a really difficult mental atmosphere. You pretty much feel a lot of despair and darkness, and you don't think it's going to end. You don't understand that part. And I remember listening to a guided meditation, and the guidance was something about putting your attention into your hands. And I remember that so vividly, like having my curiosity of these sensations in my hands. And it was something other than what had been there all along that I was suffering from. It was this just kind of like a neutral place, which comparatively speaking to the unpleasant atmosphere was like literally a light at the end of the tunnel for me. So that was a moment that kind of woke me up and got me on this path. Because, you know, I finished that book, and then I looked at the back of it and got like a class, and then I found, you know, a retreat, and then I found a teacher, and it's been 12 years that I've been walking that path, and I've been finding these building blocks for myself based on that kind of one insight. And obviously, as you go along, you get all these other insights. But the building blocks for me for this refuge that I want to keep coming back to come in the form of, you know, books and like Dharma talks and retreats and like Dharma friends who remind me, like being in your presence, seeing how you walk the path helps me a lot. Teachers, mentors. So I've sort of gathered these building blocks and I've built my foundation. So like kind of fast forward to now, I had this experience on Wednesday night that I wanted to share with you because maybe parts of this might sound familiar. So I'm sitting on the couch, I'm laying on the couch, and my husband's away on a trip, a business trip, and the house is quiet. And I was having one of those classic moments where you're like, let me check my emails one more time. Let me do one more Wordle puzzle. Let me have one more cookie. Because, you know, there's just that mental atmosphere that's like uncomfortable. And you don't know why it's there and whatever. And so you just kind of are doing these things. And I don't know what it is that reminds me. I think it's all this practice that we do. I came back. I remembered somehow. I remembered, oh, wait a minute. Connect your mind and your body now, Kylie. Oh. And it was one of those classic moments where I touch into that place inside of me that is what I call refuge, where I can let go of that energy. I don't really know how to describe it. So then I was sitting there on the couch and I'm like, now I'm taking refuge. I'm like, all right. And I kind of cracked myself up because I was alone in my house, which is what I'd been craving the whole week before, because we had a lot of guests. We had an event at our home and we had so many people through the house. And during those times when I had a crowd, I was doing the same thing. I was taking refuge because that was overwhelming. So it just, it makes you appreciate the condition that we're in. And it makes you appreciate that this place of wholeness is kind of, it's like with you all the time if you have these tools to come back to it. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I wanted to share with you today. And, I think I wanted to also just thank you. I am just incredibly grateful for the people that I walk the path with. Even like you were saying, people you have never met before, especially my teachers who are, I feel like they're walking sort of ahead of me on a path. I know it's like comparing mine, but I don't care. It's like, you're a little bit closer to the mountaintop and you can see further out, right? And so I kind of hang on to that. And then recognizing that I'm doing that for the people who are behind, again, not to be comparing, but like I'm sort of a light for those people. And I think each one of us is that way. Like if we're walking this path consciously, we're already so far ahead of the game and we can be a light for people, even like not even teaching, just like living our lives, with these intentions that we have. So just a huge thank you for your presence and for your support and for your attention right now. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kylie.
Sorry, Dhammadeepa, I have to head out.
Okay, Brad, thanks for letting us know. And thanks again for being present and
Be
sharing.
well, all.
It was wonderful.
Take care. Bye now.
Be well. Bye-bye. Beautiful. So I'll begin as I always do with the homage to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And you're all welcome to chant along if you would like, or just let it wash over you. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. Mm. On a day like today, when we are practicing together, this very traditional form of gathering sometime after the full moon of October and before the full moon of November. I'm reminded of the stream of the many lives over the centuries, all over the globe. People sharing the Dhamma with each other. Starting with the Buddha and his willingness to get up off the seat of blissful awakening, and teach the Dhamma. And how it has been passed on again and again and again and again and again. each time this Dhamma that meets the unique life of that individual, and yet is saying something that has always been true. And what a tremendous gift that that has come into our hands, into our lives. So amazing. It didn't have to be that way, right? But many people, through the generosity of their hearts, through their diligent practice, through their profound insights, have just kept inspiring us one after the other. Inspiring us enough to know that we too could walk this path, that we too could be the ancestors for tomorrow's ancestors. That is who we are. We are the ancestors to tomorrow's ancestors. Our Dhamma ancestors gave us that gift, and we stand in the stream of transmission, generation after generation. We take our place in that stream of transmission by our practice, by our willingness to gather together with the Sangha. We take our place in that stream of beings awakened and beings awakening. So beautiful. So beautiful. So the history of this gathering, as I said, I would say a couple of words about that. The history of Katina. So the first time that I experienced Katina after 20-some years of Buddhist practice was when I went to the women's monastery called the Vihara in California. And the bhikkhunis were keeping this tradition alive, and the bhikkhus also, and they would gather together at these times after this harvest moon and invite their sanghas for some very joyful events, lots of drumming and people marching around and giving cloth and all sorts of big meals and so many beautiful, joyful things going on. But the history of it is that in the past, what happened was that the Buddha had many, many students, disciples, they're called, or students, or folks who had really experienced the insights of his teaching, and they would be sent out to teach in various parts of India. They would walk around. And during the monsoon season, there was a concern because they would be stepping on people's crops, or they would be stepping on the little creatures, the little insects that would come out of the ground when the ground was soaked. And so the folks, the farmers went to the Buddha and said, please tell your monks to stay put, stop walking around. So that's what he did. He asked the Sangha to stay in one place from the full moon of July until the full moon of October. And why the full moon? Well, because they didn't have iPhones or wall calendars with the pandas on them. They had the moon to navigate by. They had the moon to be able to tell when they were supposed to have gatherings. And so the Buddha said, everybody stay in one place over this 3-month period of time, except for certain exceptions. So there are certain exceptions if you get called for a teaching, somebody is desperate, somebody needs an urgent teaching, you could go walking a little further outside of your village for that. Or if there was a death, then there was a need to attend to a funeral. But most of it was that they stayed in one place, and that enabled them to have deeper relationships with these folks in the places where they stayed. And from there came this beautiful, joyful celebration, like, yay, we had this time together over the summer to really deepen our practice. And now those benefits also will spread out, because in fact, the monastics are not asked to, but required to travel after the end of the season, what's called the Vasa season, the monsoon period. So everybody will get to benefit from that. So it's a great, grand celebration. And you know, as I said, it's an old tradition. It is one that really reminds us of where we are as part of the making of Buddhist history, what will become Buddhist history. That is what we're doing. So we need to make really good choices, because we are part of that transmission. And that's why we come together, to help each other make those good choices and encourage each other to really take on this path, which asks a lot of us. And ultimately, what we're doing is waking up, waking up to the truths of our lives. And that is the most incredible gift of all. All right. So that was my Dharmet. That's what Kylie likes to call them, the Dharmet, the short version. And so we'll close with some chanting. And as always, so I brought some chant cards, although I'm also going to put the chant on the screen, so you can read it off the screen, or you can read it off the chant sheet. And this chant is a chant of the 4 boundless qualities. So these are, in Pali, it's called Brahma viharas. And the Brahma viharas, you can translate that as the heavenly dwellings or the heavenly abidings. They're also, as you see here, this is translated into English, this version. Boundless qualities, boundless qualities. Why? Because in the chant, they are described as immeasurable. One for Hattie behind you. One for Hattie behind you. Thanks. Great. All right. Yeah, folks can read on screen if you can't see. If you can't see on the screen, then here, I'll try to make it a little bigger. All right. Beautiful. Are we all about ready? Yeah. Great. So we're going to chant this one time through. You'll see that it's repetitive. What it's saying is, it's a setting an intention. So this is ideally an aspiration that you take with you after this gathering, that we don't just come together and then it's over, check the box, right? But rather that we go from here into the world with this, carrying this beneficial intention for ourselves and for all beings. So we're going to chant this all together. Folks online, please keep your mics muted. And now let us make the four boundless qualities shine forth. I will abide, pervading 1/4, with a mind imbued with loving kindness. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a mind imbued with loving kindness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4, with a mind imbued with compassion. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a mind imbued with compassion, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4, with a mind imbued with gladness. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a mind imbued with gladness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. I will abide, pervading 1/4, with a mind imbued with equanimity. Likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above and below, around and everywhere, and to all as to myself, I will abide, pervading the all-encompassing world, with a mind imbued with equanimity, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. Beautiful, thank you. And so I want to close with a very traditional dedication of merit here. To give me just one moment to get there. This is a traditional Pali dedication of merit. Some of you, if any of you have seen, somebody mentioned the Buddhist Global Relief and the work that I do with Venerable Bodhi and the folks there. if you've seen any of the Buddhist Global Relief events, you will recognize this chant from the end of those. Bhante always gets very bouncy and excited. He likes to do this chant. It's lovely. So let's see if we find the... yeah, I'm going to have to do this the slow way. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, here we go. So I'll put it on screen again, just not that I expect any of you to chant along. This is usually just done by the person doing the closing. I'll try to be as bouncy as Bhante. We'd probably laugh at that whole idea, actually. Okay. So this is a very traditional blessing of inviting all of the beneficial beings in all the realms to rejoice in the goodness that we have created with our practice here today. So, and I want to say, before I offer the final dedication, to say, may this gathering be a cause and a condition for your complete freedom from every form of suffering, every form of delusion. May it be the seed that grows into the great tree, shading you and all beings. Akasata chabumata devanaga mahidika punyang tang anumoditva chirang rakantu sasanang. Akasata chabumata devanaga mahidika punyang tang anumoditva chirang rakantu desanang. Akasata chabumata devanaga mahidika punyang tang anumoditva chirang rakantu mang parang etawata chamhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe dewa numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya etawata chamhehi sampatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya etawata chamhehi sampatang punya sampadang sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya bhavagupadaya avicihetato etantare sattakayu pappana rupi arupi cha sanya sanyino dukkha pamuchantu pusantu nibuting. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, friends, that is our program for today. So beautiful. My heart is full. Wonderful, wonderful. Many blessings. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much for everything. Bye-bye. Okay. And so for folks here, we're going to go ahead, bye stick. We're going to go ahead and